Welcome back, guys. I hope you had a great 4th of July. There is so much going on in the crypto space the past week with altcoins, with Bitcoin dominance, with MicroStrategy, with MetaPlanet, Elon Musk. So much to talk about. We're going to dive right into it. Thanks for coming back. Remember, everything I say to you guys isn't financial advice. Elon Musk says his New America Party will embrace Bitcoin, that fiat is hopeless. I support this. I think that it's great that someone is forming a party other than Republican and Democrat because both parties are corrupt. And, you may not like Elon Musk, but what he's doing right now is something that's probably going to go down in history as one of the things that could break the current political system that we have, and start something that could be greater. And someone commented on the post and he said that fiat is hopeless and that he does embrace Bitcoin. So I support this. Next term, we'll see if he runs or if someone else steps up to run. But I think it's a great thing that he did. I think he is straying away from the current American political system, which is good because a lot of you guys, a lot of people didn't like Elon Musk when he became friends with Trump because a lot of people didn't like Trump. So it's probably for the best that he strays away from this whole, political agenda that Republicans have to start his own thing. More Bitcoin related, MicroStrategy is going to be buying another $4.2 billion worth of Bitcoin by hitting the ATM on their new proxy called Stride. They're not going to be selling MicroStrategy or Strike or Strife anymore. He has this new program for Stride, which is going to be buying more Bitcoin, a lot more Bitcoin, $4.2 billion worth without even hitting the ATM on MicroStrategy. This is going to drive the price of MicroStrategy and Bitcoin through the roof. Like, this is a massive purchase. I don't know what the timeline is for this purchase yet, but it's going to be pretty big for MicroStrategy to be able to buy this much Bitcoin without selling any current shares. MetaPlanet bought another 2,200 and now they hold 15,555 Bitcoin. Also another company that's unstoppable. They are going to be the number 2 Bitcoin corporate treasury. They're number 5 right now, I believe, and they're just nonstop buying Bitcoin as well. So very excited to see what they do. BlackRock owning 1.5% of all Ethereum. Tom Lee is buying a crap load of Ethereum, $250 million worth, and BlackRock owning 1.5% of all the Ethereum and not selling it. This is going to drive the price up massively. ETH is the most slept on crypto, in my opinion. It's the number 2, and its market cap is about a sixth of Bitcoin, sitting at about $350 billion right now. So ETH has been doing nothing for the past 4 years. It's been on the decline, and lately it's been talked about a lot, and a lot of people are scooping it up. And there's more whales buying ETH right now than they have since, I think, 2017. ETH is going to melt faces. It is going to be the most hated rally. I will say it over and over again. If you do not own some portion of Ethereum in your portfolio, you are going to miss out because this is what's going to kickstart the entire alt season. Once we see ETH start moving past the $4,000 level, which in my opinion is probably going to happen mid-August, altcoins are going to see a massive, massive spike. They're all waiting for that confirmation, and the confirmation is there because the price isn't changing and people are loading up on it, and more ETH is being bought than ever. And the fact that the price isn't changing, and it's staying the same, it's good for you guys because you could buy ETH for cheap. But once the price is reflected, it's going to shoot quick. I saw it shoot from $400 to 4.9K last cycle, and this cycle, it's sitting at around 2,500 right now. It's going to 10K by December. Not financial advice. MicroStrategy reported $14 billion in profit in Bitcoin appreciation in Q2. This constitutes them being eligible for the S&P 500, which is going to probably hit in September, which is going to drive about, I think they said, $30 billion of passive income into MicroStrategy in the first 6 months. This is going to boost the price of the stock by a lot. I think that the price of the stock is probably going to be sitting at about $750 to $1,000 by the new year. And it could be a lot higher depending on what Bitcoin does. But as long as you believe in Bitcoin, you got to believe in this company because they are loading up and they are buying so much Bitcoin. Something is going on with XRP. I've been telling everyone for weeks. There's things going on behind closed doors, and he's about to speak to the Senate on July 9th. I don't know what's coming. Something maybe for RLUSD, but they already applied for their banking license, which I'll talk about later on. But they're doing things bigger than anybody can imagine in the financial system. And this is going to be, I don't know if I could see it overtaking Ethereum, but it's going to be huge. And it's probably going to 5x at some point. And, a lot of investors are talking about their top picks for this cycle. And in my opinion, all the best picks for this bull run and this cycle are going to be those like top 20 coins. They're going to be SUI. They're going to be XLM, XRP, Solana. They're going to be all those coins that already, have conviction and they're doing big things. It's not going to be so much of those memes and all those other shit coins from the last cycle where you could just throw your money anywhere and make 100x, Yesterday, Bitcoin recorded its highest weekly close in history, which is awesome. I think it closed at about 109.2. We popped down, I think, to 108.2 at the time of speaking, but recording its highest weekly close in history, it's only up from here, guys. It's hasn't even touched its all-time high yet. When it shoots past 111.9, I think it's going straight to 130. It could happen at the end of this month. It could happen in August. I don't know when. I got a few bets with friends that it's happening at the end of this month, but we'll see. If you hold 0.1 Bitcoin, you're guaranteed in the top 2.6% globally out of 21 million coins. So if you're holding 0.1 Bitcoin, you're already almost 3% in a better position than anybody in the world. You're in the top 2.13 after subtracting the 4 million lost coins. So after 4 million of coins being lost, there's about 17 million Bitcoins left in circulation. So you're in the top 2% of all Bitcoins being circulated if you own just 0.1, which is about 110,500 right now, if I'm not mistaken. So getting your hands on 0.1 Bitcoin means you're in the top 2% of people in the world. One day that's going to be a lot smaller of a percentage because there's going to be people selling Bitcoin. There's going to be more Bitcoin lost. So 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be very hard to get your hands on one day. And only 4.5 million addresses hold greater than 0.1 Bitcoin, meaning they're in the top 0.56% in the world. So if you own 0.1 Bitcoin, you're ahead of 99.4% of people in all the world. Let that sink in. Just think about that. This is an extremely long range that we've been acting in for ETH, Michael Vandepop says. The moment it breaks out, whichever side it's going to be, which by the look of this chart, it looks like we're breaking to the upside. The low is 1,700. And, look at ETH consolidating for so long. I'm so confident in ETH right now. When anybody asks me what to invest in right now, I'm saying Ethereum or XRP. Those two are just waiting. They're a ticking time bomb, they're coiled. They're ready to pop. Look at this chart for Ethereum. That is beautiful consolidation. And when everybody gets bored, that's when the next big move happens. And in my opinion, it's going to be to the upside. BlackRock is buying 600 million in ETH the past 30 days alone. Like, that alone should tell you what direction ETH is probably going to go. And long-term Bitcoin holders hit an all-time high too 2 days ago. 155 plus days constitutes someone as a long-term holder, and diamond hands are stacking harder than ever. This is a conviction and signal that there is reduced sell pressure from the whales and that the price is going to increase. If more people are loading up, the people that have been in for years, what do you think is going to happen to the price when new buyers start to get in? It's only going to push the number up. And those people that are holding for 155 plus days, they're not selling. They're institutions or they're people that have been in Bitcoin long enough to know what it does, what it is, and what direction it's going to go in. This was the biggest news that I think I've ever seen in crypto, and it came out 3 days ago. The House of Representatives announced Crypto Week for July 14th to 18th, so that starts in a week, featuring consideration of 3 major bills: the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, and the Genius Act. The Genius Act, as you know, passed the Senate about 2 weeks ago, and that's going to bring a lot more regulation and clarity to stablecoins. The Clarity Act is also going to help with this too. I mean, these bills going to the House of Representatives are going to provide structure and regulation to the crypto market that no one in the world has seen before. And once these are established and set into place in the government, the price of cryptocurrencies are going to go through the roof. People are going to be convicted and they're going to be secure, and there's going to be structure to know exactly what investors from an institutional standpoint are actually investing in. And the amount of capital that is going to flow from traditional finance into the crypto market, once this structure is in place, is absolutely unimaginable. And I don't understand how more people are not bullish on this, because we are developing the biggest shift in financial history from traditional banking systems into stable coins and the cryptocurrency market. And I don't understand why people are arguing that. These bills are going into place. You are not early enough. And you can just see what the writing is on the wall, and you can see the direction which everything is going. And people are still trying to deny that Bitcoin is here to stay and saying that it is a scam. It's mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing to me, which brings me to the next point from Anthony Pompliano, which Michael Saylor says and Anthony Pompliano says all the time. And that's it. Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price that they deserve, because everybody is going to need to own a portion of Bitcoin at some point in our lifetime. And I'm 34 years old. At some point in every Gen Z and my lifetime, you are going to need to have an allocation into Bitcoin, or you're going to get left behind, or you're going to just start losing money in US dollar, one or the other. So at every point, someone is going to need to buy Bitcoin, and it's going to be at the price that they deserve and at the price that they feel Bitcoin is most valuable to them. Whether it's 200,000, 500,000, or even 1 million. There's probably going to be people in the world that aren't going to be bullish on Bitcoin until it hits 1 million, and they'll say, oh, maybe it's here to stay. And even then they probably won't still be bullish on it, because they just think of it as internet money or something like that. But everybody will get Bitcoin at some point in their lifetime. If you're from age 40 or under, you're going to need it. The Genius stablecoin legislation passes. It should and probably will bring 15 to 20 trillion dollars into the crypto economy. I mean, the shift from traditional finance alone into the crypto industry is going to bring that amount. And it's probably going to be more than that. That's a very, very conservative amount, in my opinion, 15 to 20 trillion. And this is coming from the digital asset director. I forget his name. But, you know, people are saying and letting you know where the money is going to flow from traditional markets into the crypto market once these bills are passed. Here's a little like thought from this one random account I saw on X that I thought was interesting. Just one lifetime ago, so let's say our grandparents' age, 30, 40 years from ago, our grandparents could buy a home, buy a car, have 3 to 4 children, keep their wives at home and only work, take annual vacations, and then retire all in on a middle-class salary. What happened? Think about that. So my grandparents, they did real estate. They, you know, they had 3 kids. They had a home, a very nice home, and they were still able to travel, support their kids, put their kids through college, and, you know, have all extra money to live on. And that was just with like an average realtor salary. So think about how things are changing so quick, and that people that are even my age can't even afford to buy a house yet. So there's one thing that's going to change that in the world in the next 5 to 10 years, and it's Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a hedge against the most inflationary asset known to man right now, which is the US dollar. And I still do not understand why some people keep all of their money in US dollar. It just does not make any sense to me why they think it's safe, why they don't put it somewhere else, why they don't just hold Bitcoin in Coinbase and use the Bitcoin to sell and pay off their credit card bills when they need to. It just doesn't make sense holding cash or money in a checking account or a savings account yielding you like 2% a year, if even. I don't know, but brings me back to my point before that everybody will need Bitcoin at their own price. So, you know, I'm trying to not push it on too many people that aren't in, because I've tried for years. I've tried when I got in at $6,000, and I feel like I'm just being a dick now, honestly. I just feel like it's a repetitive record player, me telling people to go buy Bitcoin. And this YouTube channel that I created isn't to, you know, continue a Ponzi scheme or get people to buy Bitcoin or invest. It's to teach, and it's to teach you what Bitcoin actually does and what it is. Because if you understand and take the time to understand what Bitcoin really is, you'll understand that it's something greater than anything that's ever come into the monetary system in my lifetime, your parents or your grandparents' lifetime. Because there's nothing this finite. There's only 21 million, 17 million of them after all the 4 million that have been lost. and there can't be any more mined. Like gold, there can be more gold mined. This is a finite, and there's a cap, which means at some point in the future, hopefully the near future, the supply shock is going to hit the market so big that I can't even imagine where the price is going to go after exchanges run out. People are scrambling to buy Bitcoin, and they can't get their hands on this Labubu currency. Think about like how much Labubus go for on eBay, or how much like Pokemon cards go for on eBay. It's because they were scarce and they stopped making them. Bitcoin, it has been scarce for 16 years, and we knew that 16 years ago. So if you got in, 16 years ago up till now, you're still early because the world hasn't even caught on. Only 3% of people in the entire world own Bitcoin. So think about like once the rest of the 97% of people catch on to this and start to buy, and the exchanges just keep running out and running out, what is going to happen to the price? It's going to be sitting probably at $10 to $20 million a coin in 20 years, which is crazy to think about, but it's going to happen. Ondo Finance launching on Solana and Ethereum. The RWA space is going to take off too this bull run. I've been saying it for a long time. I've been in Ondo for 6 months now, and Ondo is my second biggest holding. They're bringing everything on chain, and once this happens this summer, once they launch on Solana and Ethereum, it's game over. Game over. Brad Garlinghouse, what I mentioned before, Ripple is applying for a national bank. Ripple banks are coming. Like I said before, they're doing something behind closed doors, but now they're telling you they've applied for their banking license, and we'll see what happens with that. I think RLUSD will be a lot more prevalent in our society in the upcoming years. But Brad Garlinghouse is a super smart man. He has something going for him right now. Ripple and XRP are going to absolutely take off. He's friends with Trump, and he's doing things behind closed doors. And once people catch on, that is also going to bring a lot of momentum to the XRP ledger. So let's take a look at this. This happens every post-halving year. Q3 flips bullish. That's 57% combined in 62 days. Let's take a look at the chart. So let's look at 2021, the last cycle that I'm circling right here. We went 18% and 13% last halving cycle, the year after the last halving cycle. The one before that, we did 18% and 65%. The one before that, we did 9.6% and 30%. Let's see what this July and August bring. But if history repeats itself, which it likes to do in the Bitcoin monthly return chart, we shall see. But I'm expecting at least a 15% jump in July and at least a 10% jump in August. So I mean, that's very conservative too. And then even after that, those halving years, September is usually a little bit of a drop. It looks like a 7% drop in the past. 7.3, 7.03, 7.44, and 1 in 2013. I'm expecting a drop in September and then Q4 to boom. So my plan is to take my alts, ride them out for the summer, sell them in September, and then get back in for Q4. And then I'm thinking we top out by January to May of 2026. So we'll see what happens if history repeats itself. But I like to think it does. And this is what I'm going for. And that's not financial advice, but that's just my strategy. And lastly, another really bullish news the past week is that Tom Lee is doing to Ethereum what Saylor did for Bitcoin. And he started out with $250 million purchase for ETH, and this is just going to drive the price of ETH up as well. So he started his own ETF. I forgot the name of it, something like Bitmine or something. And he's doing exactly for Ethereum what Michael Saylor has done for Bitcoin. And I see it skyrocketing. I'm telling everybody I know to buy ETH. I'm super bullish on it. I have been for a while. I had it last cycle. I got rid of it because it dropped heavily. And right now I'm very convicted that ETH is going to very, very big places. So that's all I got for you guys for today. It's a very, very exciting time in the crypto space. And I get so much adrenaline just by speaking on camera about it, because I could talk about this stuff all day to friends. And I do. I call my friends that are well invested all day. I help them out. They help me out too. I learn every single day. I learn a little bit about Bitcoin every single day. This one book I actually picked up where the preface is by Michael Saylor is called The Little Book of Bitcoin. And I started this one. I've got another one over there called The Bitcoin Standard. And I'm constantly teaching myself about Bitcoin because no matter how much I think that I know about Bitcoin, I feel like I don't know anything because there is so much new data and things happening to the network and things happening in the crypto space that like I feel like I'm constantly teaching myself, and I'm going to continue to teach you guys just because I enjoy this. I enjoy making videos. This is all for fun. I'm not even monetizing off this channel yet. So this is all just for fun to grow an audience in the crypto space and see where it takes me. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Throw a like, throw a comment down there if you have anything to say, any questions. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and stay tuned for the next one.